What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Shelah Marie, and today I'm going to be sharing my top 5 books for personal development and growth. These books are my favorite books to help you forgive, help you get to know yourself better, shift your paradigm, just overall be extra lit, because it's 2017, we gotta be lit, you know what I'm saying? I did a post like this before on Periscope where I listed 9 books, but I'm gonna keep this short. If you are interested, I will link the longer version of this talk so you can get the full list of the 9 books. I'm gonna try to go from easy to more difficult in this 1 to 5, so 1 being the easiest and 5 being the most difficult to kind of grasp and understand, because I know some of these concepts are new to people, and sometimes shifting your paradigm can be like, wait, what? So I try to take it easy and go from easy to more difficult. Number 1, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Almost anyone that I know that is into self-help or like a personal development junkies like myself, this book is always like a jumping off point. It's always one of the first ones you read. The thing that I love about this book is it's short and it's very direct, and it offers a huge shift in paradigm through the way of these 4 agreements or 4 rules to live by. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. And always do your best. It's simple. I mean, seriously though, this book will change the way you think about a lot of things. And I find myself quoting these 4 rules all the time. And I read this book like had to be 5 years ago now. So this is a dope one. Get this. The next book is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. Kondo? Her name right? I hope. Sorry, Marie. I like this book because a lot of the things that I recommend always work from the inside out, right? So we're healing ourselves from the inside out. We're thinking about forgiveness and all of these things. It's about changing your mind and your soul, always from the inside out. That's intimidating to some people, and some people just don't think that deep off rip. You know what I'm saying? They need like kind of like an introduction. So I like this book because this book illustrates a lot of the same principles that are in all of these other books. All of these books really speak to each other, but it does it from the outside in. So this is a female Japanese writer, and it's based on some feng shui principles, adjusting your living situations so that you invite the most joy into your life. When I read this book, I got rid of 70% of everything that I owned. Everything. And I never felt freer. I never felt lighter. And not only that, I got rid of a lot of stuff that I just didn't know why I still had it. And then after that, I realized I have less things, but they're higher quality and I care about them more. So this book gets at your emotional attachment to things and kind of how you can arrange your physical surroundings to best reflect the kind of inner world that you want. Everything. She tells you to pick up, everything in your house and ask one question: does this bring you joy? And not like, oh, but my boyfriend gave it to me like in 6th grade, like he had wrote that letter his hand, like, oh my god, or like, but no, I can't, like this was my mom's, grandma's, auntie's. It's like, no, you pick it up and you know what joy feels like. You feel joy. Like I feel joy when I get Chick-fil-A. I feel joy when I sit down in front of tiramisu. You don't need anyone to explain to you what that is. So you pick up something and I'm like, if it doesn't bring me joy, it goes. It was as simple as that. I know it sounds ruthless, but please read the book and it'll become more clear. Number 3, A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. Danielle, I want to apologize for never giving you your book back. I love you. This book I love. It's basically her reflections on A Course in Miracles. It's basically her reflections on principles. Yes, it's right. That's what I said. Reflections on the principles of A Course in Miracles. She argues that everyone is born from love. We're all made from love, but we are conditioned out of it, and sometimes we forget that we are actually all made of love. And so this book is all about returning to the love that we all are. It's based in a lot of principles that you'll find in Christianity, and she mentions Holy Spirit and other words that are in Christianity. So for any of my tribe who identifies as Christian, this book is nice because it'll complement what you're already doing and what you already know. Marie Williamson is an amazing writer. This is the beginning, but please, if you like this, check out her other books. I am actually listening to the audiobook of Divine Compensation right now, and it's mind-blowing. It's great. Number 4, Codependent No More. All right. This is a big one. This book changed the way I thought about relationships. I got this book from my therapist in college, and I was like, I don't need a therapist. Like, I'm just doing this because, I'm here. And, I was all salty about being in therapy, and I was like heartbroken over this guy who broke my heart in college. Oh my God. So I was over here feeling myself, like just feeling so, like having the biggest pity party ever. And she said, you know what? You might be codependent. You should read this book. I'm like, what's codependent? The book for people who love too much, right? And when love hurts. So the idea with codependency is that you don't believe that you're good enough as is. And so you feel that you have to give not like an adequate, healthy amount of love to somebody, but overly like you love someone too much and you give too much. And then when you give all that you could give plus a little then some that you didn't have to give, you expect the person's behavior to change. And when their behavior doesn't change, because we can't control other people, a person will only change if they want to. And so when you do all of these things, you're jumping through all of these hoops, trying to prove your love to this person, and their behavior doesn't change in the way that you want. This is a slight manipulation tactic, even though we don't know it sometimes. We get mad at that person. And then so at first we were the victim, and that's the perpetrator, and now we're the perpetrator, and that person is the victim. No. The book illustrates how the cycle of codependency works, so you can understand the victim-perpetrator triangle where there's no healing in there. It's just flipping roles back and forth. And I think this book is particularly good for a lot of women. Men can also suffer from codependency, but overwhelmingly, it's for women. It helped me to figure out what is a healthy standard for love, and that I don't have to I don't have to manipulate someone else to love me. I don't. I am already worthy of being loved. So I think, yes. Last but not least, ding, 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 ding. Radical Forgiveness. Now this is the most difficult book out of all of them to understand. I think this is the most like far out, like people new agey, like, if there's any book that will give you, that will like rub up against your beliefs and probably trigger you, it will be this book. This book also speaks to everything that we've said today. Every one of these books, they speak to each other for sure. But this one to me had the most profound effect on me of probably any book that I've ever read. And Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping, a revolutionary 5-step process to heal relationships, let go of anger and blame, and find peace in any situation. But Radical Forgiveness basically describes a different way of looking at forgiveness. Most of us operate with traditional forgiveness, which is like, you hit me, and then I feel bad, and I'm the victim, and you're the perpetrator, and I get to feel bad, and I get to blame you, and I get to say that you were bad by hitting me, and woe is me. And then if I want forgiveness, I have to either wait around for you to go, oh, well, I hit Shelah, let me apologize, which may or may not happen. Maybe you don't feel bad for hitting me. Maybe you didn't even know that you hit me. Maybe you don't even remember. You moved on with your life, and I'm still over here mad that you hit me that one time. So with traditional forgiveness, it means that the person has to acknowledge that they did something wrong. They have to feel bad about it, and they have to express to you all of these things, and they have to apologize, and then you have to accept their apology. That's a lot of steps, right? So radical forgiveness is the idea that you don't need anyone else for forgiveness, because forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself. Forgiveness is not meant for the other person. Radical forgiveness is the idea that this person hitting me was never wrong in the first place. That person hitting me was a part of the divine order of the universe. It was supposed to happen. Not only was it supposed to happen, but before me and this other person were in this human form that we are now, our souls asked each other for that interaction so that we could grow. I know. So instead of saying, oh my God, ouch, why did this person hit me? I would say, oh, interesting. I wonder what part of me needed that hit in order to grow. Is there a part of me that thinks I deserve to get hurt? Is there a part of me that needs to love myself more? Interesting. Let me see what I can do and heal the healing that was invited from that original event, so that everything happens for you, not to you. And that is the biggest shift that came out of that book for me. That everything that like abusive relationships, abuse as a child, all of these things that I had, depression, anxiety, all of these things in my life where before I had looked at them and felt bad for myself and said, why do I have to go through this? I was not like, they were all gifts along the way to invite growth in me and to invite me to transform. You can't transform something that you don't fully experience. So one thing that the book argues is that we are all mirrors of each other. So for example, when I was reading this book, I was in a relationship with someone who called me a bitch in public in front of people, and it humiliated me. And I thought to myself, because I was reading this book and it happened as I was reading the book, I didn't feel hurt. That was the first time. I didn't take it personally, for agreements, and it didn't hurt my feelings. Instead, I was like, ooh, what part of me still thinks I'm a bitch? What part of me still thinks that I am worthy of being humiliated in public? There is something within myself that is being mirrored in this other person. So that everyone that comes into your life is a mirror for what's going on inside of your mind. So if you're surrounded by people who are victimizing you all of the time, there must be something within you that is calling that reflection forward. So everyone and everything in your life is a chance to look in a mirror and say, do I like that? Do I like that? Do I like that? Why is that here? Interesting, I need to change. It's definitely one of the most difficult books in terms of shifting your paradigm into a new perspective and thinking about things in a new way, but it is also so rewarding. This book definitely helped me let go of the victim trope that I was holding on to, and helps me let go of things. People remind me of things now and I'm like, oh my God, did that happen? I totally forgot, because I barely hold on to anything. I don't hold on to grudges. Like, I really don't care that much. I can be really mad about something but let it go a lot quicker because of this book. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed these books. I hope you read them. I hope you grow.